So I wanted to make a quick video today talking about Golden Purslane. I've covered it in previous videos and I've also got a chapter in my ebook about it. I wanted to make the video for two reasons. One is because in previous videos I've never shown how to harvest it, and so I wanted to make sure I did that in this video. And I'll include this harvest video obviously in the ebook. But the other reason is there's very little information about how to grow purslane out there on the web, and so everything that's in the ebook is based on my personal experience. I've only grown it for 3 years, and so my experience is actually quite limited. Now I know a lot of people also grow purslane because, partly because they've seen it on me evangelizing it on previous videos, and so I wanted to sort of get people's feedback on the content of these videos and on the ebook itself. And I'm particularly keen around how to sow it and the best way to sow it. So I've covered that already, as I said, in the ebook, so just take a look at that if you're familiar with purslane and you grow it successfully yourselves. Just give me some feedback on the content of the ebook so that I can update it and make it as useful as possible. So with all that preamble over, let's take a look at how I harvest it. So it's time for the first pick of the Golden Purslane, and this is the sort of size that I like to pick it. So what I'm always looking to do is just take out the central growing point. You eat the whole thing, the shoots, the stem rather, and the leaves. Absolutely gorgeous. And what you're left with is that, and you see you've got two more here that'll grow on. And you just keep on repeating that process. So you want to take the whole centre stem. There we go. And this is just the most wonderful crop. It's rich in the omega-3 fatty acids, which are good for you. And it tastes absolutely beautiful, and I've got a little bit of green fly on me, you can see that. I've just been picking some old lettuces, that's why. And so I don't want to get green fly on this bed actually, so I just need to make sure my hands are clean. So there we go. Just take these out. We use these in salads. They are hands down our most popular salad crop, and the only downside to them is that they don't keep in the salad mixes quite as well as the other lettuces. So they're okay for about, oops, I took the whole shoot off that one, for about 5 days, and after that they start to drop the leaves off the stems. You can still eat them, they're still fine, but that obviously just aesthetically it's not quite as nice. But they're the most succulent, lemony kind of taste. And I don't know whether you saw that one of those that I had was starting to go to flower, and that is great as well, because when they do that you get these little black, you can't see it on these because they're not ready yet, but you get these little black seed heads. Maybe you'll see it on that one perhaps. And you get these little black peppery seeds, and they are amazing. They're even tastier than the rest of the crop. So I'm going to carry on picking these. Now that is such a great first harvest, and hopefully you can see what I've done here. Let me just zoom in down here and let you see how I've picked them off. And it does look a bit brutal when you first do it, and you think, oh gosh, are they going to grow back all right? But they do. They really respond well to the stimulus of being picked. and there were actually a few green fly on some of the older leaves, so it was quite a good time to give them the first pick, because the younger leaves generally don't have any green fly, but the ones that have been around for a while, that are just that little bit older, the first leaves basically, they can be a bit weak, and you know, it's weak things that tend to get a problem with green fly. But not to worry, we'll just wash those green fly off, and yeah, they'll still be great eating. So by next week, because it's going to be nice and sunny, this bed will be ready for picking again, but instead of being one shoot to pick, there'll be 2 shoots to pick. So there'll be 2 containers, but that is nowhere near enough. So we've got another bed down here that was direct seeded. I just thinned that out the other day, and so there's loads there, but they'll be 2 or 3 weeks away now before they're ready for harvest. So that, anyway, is how to pick Golden Purslane. What a crop. So here we are a week later, and you can see that all these have regrown really nicely, and there's now loads and loads of new shoots to harvest. And so now all of those side shoots have all come, so you can start pinching these out now, and all new ones will grow again for next week. And so that's really why I like to harvest it like this, nice and small, really succulent, never letting the plants grow very big. And if we take a look down here, you can see that these are growing on fairly well now. There's a few weeds on here, and there's a few gaps. I'll fill those gaps in with plants that I've grown in modules. And so I think direct sowing is a reasonable way to go, although you know, these probably won't be ready for harvest until next week, so they're sort of 3 weeks behind probably the ones sown in modules. And for something that we enjoy so much, you know, going through the trouble of growing them in modules is definitely worth it, just to get those few extra weeks of harvest. And here's some module sown ones. They're looking really healthy now. They really didn't look very good a few weeks ago, but they do kind of come on. And I think I'm going to put some of these in a container in the polytunnel. Might even take that container home with me, but for now I think I'll leave it in the polytunnel. And they just look great, and as I said, I think in an earlier part of this video, you can see now these starting to flower, and these little seed pods here are going to be full of these tasty sort of peppery little seeds, really lovely. They do self-seed all over the place though, so be sure to keep on top of the harvesting, and that's the beauty of harvesting them when they're nice and young like this. You're eating all the seeds rather than letting them drop everywhere. Okay, so let's take a quick look at the ebook. So you want to scroll down to individual growing guides, and then all the way down to P for purslane. And so what I've covered in here is why to grow it, and a video kind of evangelizing why I think it's one of the best things to grow in summer, when to grow it, and how to sow it. As I said, I'm looking for some feedback on this sowing section. I do have a video here about me pricking it out. All of my module trays have all been done by pricking out. The seedlings look terrible for quite a long time. They really get quite a bad transplant shock. But anyway, they do recover. You just have to kind of persevere with them. But I am wondering whether just direct sowing into modules might be better. And also in this video I show it direct sown as well. It's a few weeks later, but seems to be growing okay. How to plant it out, how to harvest it, which is what this video is all about, and also some recipes that some people have sent me. And dealing with pests, not many pests really, but green fly can be an issue, especially on older leaves. Then when you kind of pinch those older leaves off, often the newer leaves don't have it. And what to grow before and after, and then some other videos where I've mentioned purslane. So that, oh, and I've put some articles in here as well that I've read in the past, which are quite useful. So I hope you like this quick video. My name's Steve. This is the Seaside Kitchen Garden and Allotment channel, and I'll see you soon.